It ready to laugh, because Hal's friendship just turned into a comedy act, and Henry is out of the picture. Rumor has it he bought Henry some death shoes in what sounds like a really bad shopping experience. Molly's looking like a ghost, realizing she might be next after her sisters got knocked out. She decided to do something for the Osage people, hopping on a train to Washington under the guise of a vacation. On the day the Indians met the president, she spilled the beans, but the president seemed to be dozing off. Disappointed, Molly got home to face death, but she still trusted her husband like he was a golden retriever. Little did she know her husband might just be one of the masterminds behind her family's extinction. Just when everything seemed settled, a so-called agent from Washington knocked on their door, almost like overdue bills. He claimed to be from the federal government, starting a new investigation agency eager to join the fun. Ernest shooed the agent away with Molly isn't feeling well, but it was clear that the agent wasn't going anywhere. Worried about being busted by the feds, Ernest panicked like a broke gambler on the run. Hal angrily told his nephew to chill, getting ready to cover all tracks like a shady businessman. But this time the target was the family hitman, turning this into the climax of a bad play. When the hitman knocked, the shopkeeper had already prepped those welcome drinks. He decided to make sure the dead stayed dead, while the feds definitely didn't play by the rules. Luckily, an old guy dropped a big clue, looking straight out of a detective flick. He mentioned seeing Ernest's cousin and a person named Morrison talk about an incredibly dramatic scene. The feds decided to dive into Anna's case, just as they guessed the investigation zoomed in on Morrison. This pretender dressed as a Robin Hood was merely a washed-up socialite looking for a revival. Once caught, Morrison jumped at the chance to cooperate, as if she'd just found a juicy role in a play. She confessed being hired by Ernest, teaming up with a cousin to kill Anna. It was like a rogue stand-up gig. Meanwhile, Hal secretly assured Ernest not to worry, she possessed the connections to adeptly avoid prison time with ease. She even wanted Ernest to sign over the rights classic case of find a reason to cover my own tracks. After some sincere persuasion, Ernest no. Belly sign, what a cheerful doofus. But the feds wasted no time dragging Ernest in, like that time school caught a troublemaker. Ernest stubbornly denied everything, convinced her uncle would bail her out like a knight in shining armor. Without Ernest's care, Molly was discovered by other Osage people and rushed to the hospital, looking like a survival thriller. Under the doctor's careful treatment, Molly gradually began to recover and improve, entering her rebirth mode. The feds promised Ernest they wouldn't prosecute if she testified against her uncle or sounded too good. But Ernest was sure her uncle would pull a fast one, wanting nothing to do with their cooperation. The feds then brought in the previously captured hitman, turning this into a never-ending drama. The hitman claimed her uncle sent her a note, saying if she helped off Ernest, she'd win freedom. The hitman wasn't buying Hal's tricks anymore, especially since that's exactly what got her caught last time. She urged Ernest to spill the truth, arguing she wouldn't last in prison, a classic case of lying leads to nowhere. Finally, Ernest decided to testify against her uncle, like a warrior heading into battle. On the day of the trial, a lawyer suddenly stood up, claiming to be Ernest's attorney, like throwing a wrench in the works. The courtroom erupted into chaos, and the plot thickens. Hal saw his chance, moving like an unseen hand pulling the strings. That night, the lawyer retained by Hal issued a warning to Ernest, making it clear that if she testified against her uncle, she too would find herself in a difficult predicament. Then the lawyer played mind games to have her back off, turning it into a mental showdown. As a direct consequence of Morrison's testimony, Ernest was thrust into the spotlight of public opinion. If she didn't cooperate, a life sentence was on the table, and things looked dire. Just as she was ready to take the fall, the feds hit her with some bad news. Your child is gravely ill. Upon hearing that news, Ernest completely broke down, feeling utterly disheartened, as if all his faith had been swiftly snatched away. Utterly devastated, she screamed in despair, "No, don't take my baby away." The next day, alongside federal agents, Ernest attended her child's funeral. After the funeral, Molly approached and gently touched her face, trying to convey silent comfort. With the child gone, Ernest blamed it all on their wicked choices, as if everything would reset. She finally chose to cooperate with the feds without hesitation, like turning a new page. In court, Ernest told the truth, while Molly's heart was a stormy sea. If you enjoyed this trusty tale, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.